In part 4, I'm going to show you how to outline and draft your essay. Now, for the outline in your introduction, there are a few things you need to do. You need to give the title of your short story or poem and the author's full name. You should also give a brief summary of the work. And when I say brief summary, I mean keep it usually between 2 and 3 sentences. And if you need a little refresh on how to summarize a story, there is a video in the worksheet that you watched from your reading response for last week. And then, of course, your introduction needs to have your thesis statement. Okay, so from there, in the body of your paper, you would then kind of give the outline of the 3 things that you would then give the evidence for the 3 things you outlined in your thesis. Okay, now you should always have at least one direct quote from the story to show the reader each of the literary device or aspect that is being used. Okay, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. For the conclusion, you should explain why you think the theme is important, or why is this aspect in the story. Kind of the so what, why should we care about this? How does understanding this theme or understanding this aspect of the story improve our understanding of the story? Okay. Now, as I've said before, you can take more than one paragraph to write on each literary device. If you need to, this is just a general outline to help you. To help you see what a literary analysis essay should look like, especially for a student paper, I would like you to look at Amina Khan's paper on clothes in our Bedford textbook. Okay, so you can find this in chapter 12. It's right after the clothes short story. And I want you to notice a few things that Amina does. She outlines the main points of her essay in her thesis statement. Okay, that is a really good way to do a literary analysis thesis. She focuses on ideas and techniques instead of on plot. Notice that her whole essay is not just a summary of what the main characters do and what happens. That's not what this is. All right, so make sure that you're focusing on ideas and technique. Use specific examples from the story, all right? And she only quotes short phrases or single words from the text to support her point, okay? That's really important. She doesn't just give page after page or just sentence after sentence of quotations. She just isolates certain phrases. And for literature, that's often the best way to quote and cite and the most relevant, because it'll usually just be those short phrases that will really show what you want. So don't feel like you have to give a whole paragraph or a whole conversation. A lot of times in literature, you just want to focus on the words, the specific words in the story that prove your point. And then lastly, she includes page numbers for events that happen in the story, not just quotes. So that means if she references, oh, when I was on the plane, or when the woman who got married was just on the plane, she'll give the page number for that. Even if there's no quotation associated with that, she's still pointing the reader to those specific elements, those specific parts in the story. Now, for those of you, if you're using an online version of your story, if the PDF file you're viewing has page numbers, use that. If there's maybe paragraph numbers, you can use that as well. So do that if at all possible. All right, so what I would like you to do at this point is go read the sample student essay by Amina Khan in your textbook and answer some of the questions that I have in the worksheet on her essay. Her essay is very short, should only take you a couple minutes to read it, and I think seeing that example will really help you as you sit down to draft your essay for this assignment.